nun story continues.
And we picked them up in Tacoma, and there was like 4 nuns that came aboard, and you could tell Sidney was on his best behavior. He had to be so careful with those nuns. and so we had a nice chat, and they were just like an afternoon. We didn't go out. He just came aboard, and that was fun because he was in such good behavior then. And then later on, he had a granddaughter, and she was the prettiest and nicest girl, and she wasn't a snob, but that was, I think, Perkins' granddaughter came on board, and she was just this pretty nice little girl, our age, and I never found out whatever happened to the rest of his family, but she was a nice girl. And
we'll follow up on that and find out where she is.
Yeah.
The extended family has supported the boat quite well. And they're doing donations to try to keep it afloat and in the shape it should be.
Well, it was interesting in the sense that Perkins' personality was he wanted to be the commander of the ship, so we'd have an inspection every morning, and he'd go around. He'd put his Commodore uniform, go around, and had white gloves, look for stuff, and he might find something and just chew us out. And because it wasn't perfect. So anyway, we talked to the cook who had been on, he had even actually been on the cruise to Hawaii, and he was the neatest old cook, but he was great. But he said, okay guys, you got to get wise to this. Clean it beautifully. Leave one spot where he could come over and he'd find the dirt, and then he would chew you out like crazy. But he would, from then on, he was good. He had to have the moment to chew the crew out to show that he was the master of the ship. And then from then after that, he was a nice. And then he'd call you Bill. You know, he called me by my name.
Yeah.
And it was the nicest thing. But it was all his performance.
Yeah.
How he had to perform. So we got to know him, and it was a fun joke.
You know by chance which year and month the boat was in Hawaii, to the best of
I don't remember.
Because if we want to look on the books in Hawaii one day, the date may help.
But I wish I could remember. The cook's name was Bert, his first name, but I can't remember what his last name was.
Bert is still in the logbook of Thorns.
Okay, that's Bert, and he was the one. Bert was the cook, and he did go to Hawaii.
Wow.
And it was so funny. He was in his late 50s at the time, skinny as a rail, and he would never eat any of his own food. But it was so funny. And I was 19, and I could eat my dinner. Took me a whole hour because I had an endless stomach, and I ate all the time. But I thought his food was great.
Which kind of food did he cook?
Oh, he did beautiful. We had steak. We had real good quality meals on board.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
And he was a great cook, and he would make biscuits and stuff like this.
Was he doing the shopping for the food or someone else?
Well, the deckhand, the mess boy.